Are we going?
We're always going.
Oh, Bubbles. All right. Ready? I need to hear it.
Action!
All right, let's do it. Clapping time. The clapping had a meaning at some point. It no longer has a meaning other than I'm just clapping. Okay. Hey, everyone, and welcome to another episode of me eating hot dogs. I'm just going to tell you, it's like the 10th take of this. But, okay. Today we're going to be eating, or I'm going to be eating, and you're going to be watching me eat, Trader Joe's kind of standard uncured beef hot dogs. Yeah, I've always wanted to try these. I've never tried them before, so why don't we give it a shot? Before that, though, I want to do some history. I want to talk history again. I enjoy talking history. You know that because I just blab about it all the time. Okay, but today I'm going to talk about this comic duo from the turn of the 20th century, from about 1880 until 1920. They were a very, very popular character duo. They were called Rube and Mandy. Rube and Mandy. Now, they weren't individual, people that were Rube and Mandy. They were just there were these two characters that would be in skits throughout Vaudeville and stage throughout the country. You would see a Rube and Mandy skit in Washington, D.C., and you'd see one in San Francisco. They were also in comics, and they were also in political cartoons and stuff like that. And their whole comic shtick was that they were, they were country folk, and they were simple folk. Maybe, I don't know if I'd call them hicks, like the way that it's referred to now, but they're simple. And the comic piece of it is always them going to the big city. They're like, oh, the big city, what's going on here? And everyone would be laughing at their antics, right? And up until this point in time, up until like 1903, they were always basically on stage, okay? So just want to kind of start with them, to give you a little intro of them. They were like a comic duo or a comic team or something to that effect. And then in 1903, something happened that was really interesting. A couple things, actually. One is that Luna Park opens in Coney Island, March 1903. And when it did open, it was the largest addition to the Coney Island kind of, I'm using finger quotes here, amusement park ever. It was the largest expansion. Of course, it wasn't one big amusement park, it was many different ones. But Luna Park was the largest ever. When it would go out, when it would get dark, there were 250 light bulbs that would go on, and it was stunning. Everyone talked about the lights. At that point, in 1903, lights were still a pretty big idea, a pretty interesting idea. And so to have something so lit up was interesting, okay, and fun. It had tons of rides and all other things like that. That were that people would come. They give a couple of cents. They pay for each ride or whatever it may be, and we'll get into that in a little bit. So also in 1903, in August of 1903, a film is created called Rube and Mandy Go to Coney Island. Rube and Mandy Go to Coney Island. Okay. And that film was basically a piece of advertisement for people to come to Luna Park, right? Because all of the park that they explore in the movie is Luna Park. Okay, it's about 10 minutes long, which, by the way, was the longest film, or one of the longest films ever created up to that point. 10 minutes. I'll get into why that's the case in a second. So it was 10 minutes, and there was really no plot. It was just Rube and Mandy, doing silly things in the park and going on all these different rides, and you watching them go on rides. That was it. That was the whole thing in a nutshell. So why was 10 minutes the longest film ever? I mean, we watch films now that are 2 hours. Well, back in that time frame, when it came to motion pictures and watching motion pictures, the projector had what was called a two-blade shutter. And a two-blade shutter meant that the shutter was a circle and it had two openings in it, and when it would go around, it would. Let me just describe the situation. Here's how a projector worked. There was a lens, right, and a light bulb behind the lens, and light would pass through the lens, and the film would go in front of that lens, and it would project onto the screen. Now, if you just did that without a shutter, it would just be a smear. You wouldn't see any kind of movement. You see the movement because the shutter creates a strobing action, and that strobing action gives the illusion of movement on the screen. Okay. Now, the challenge is that a two-blade shutter was hard to look at. It was very stroby, and you can get headaches, and it wasn't very pleasant. So the films never went more than about 2 minutes. But in 1903, they invented the three-blade shutter, and when they did that, films were much more comfortable to watch, which means that it can expand the film. So one of the first films that expanded to 10 minutes, was Rube and Mandy at Coney Island. Okay, that was the name of the film, at Coney Island. The film played everywhere in the country, all over the place. It was a huge hit. A matter of fact, it was like the Star Wars of 1903, 1904. People loved it. There were all these reviews in these newspapers talking about how funny it was and how hilarious it was and how innovative it was. It had no plot, but they loved it. And it was people, there were these guys that would travel with the film. They'd set up tents and the projector and everything. And everyone from the town would come and watch the film. And it was a big deal. It was a big deal. It was one of the first times that everyone's like, whoa, maybe we can make a lot of money with these films. I don't know. I think it's a good idea. So, so this film comes out. Big deal. Everyone loves it. And of course, they attract more people to the park and stuff like that. So why am I telling you this? Why am I telling you the story of Rube and Mandy? Why am I telling you the story of Rube and Mandy? Why is it relevant at all to what I talk about normally? Well, I'll get to it. Before I get to it, though, I'd like to show you some of the footage. I'm going to tell you why. Because when you see what these rides look like that they go on, you're going to wonder how half of them didn't die. It's absolutely unbelievable. At least how not everyone walks away with massive bruises. Massive bruises. Like, they must walk away smiling with huge, big, raspberries on their face. But whatever. So why don't we do this? We're going to watch some footage from the film, 1903, Rube and Mandy at Coney Island, okay? So let's watch a couple of them, and we'll talk about it. Couple of shots, then we'll talk about it. Okay, we're back. That was interesting, wasn't it? Isn't that hilarious? Did you see what Mandy's dressed in? She's got these heels and she's got this full dress and she's walking on the rope and Rube can't even do he's like, whoa, but I don't even see the ground. What are they gonna fall 3 stories? I have no idea what happens. I mean, it looks so dangerous, and the horse thing and the water thing. It's just I wouldn't go on any of those rides, but they loved it. It's insane. It's insane. Okay, so why am I telling you this? Why did we even watch any of this? What is relevant here? I'm going to tell you why. 30 seconds before the film ends, 30 seconds, Rube and Mandy are hungry, and they go to a little restaurant. And they eat hot dogs. Okay, so they eat hot dogs. Well, I'll tell you what. In all my research, I will tell you that this, in my opinion, is the first bit of recorded history of a person eating a hot dog. This is the first film or first bit of footage of a person eating a hot dog ever, I believe. 1903, I defy you to find footage before that of people eating hot dogs. I think this is it. I've done my research, I've gone back in time, and this is the film that I believe is the first footage of someone eating a hot dog. I don't know, I think it's pretty cool. I think it's interesting. I actually don't, I've never even seen other photographic evidence, forget about film, photographic evidence of anything before of 1903. If you know of any, tell me. I just thought it was interesting. I thought I'd share. Because I'm obsessed that way. I research things. And I thought it was interesting that I can't go farther back than this. And this is it. Rube and Mandy eating a hot dog. Let's watch it. There it is. First evidence of a hot dog in existence with bun and everything, and mustard. Did you put mustard on it too? All right. There you go. Done. I'm done with my history lesson. I'm done with history. No, I'm not done with history. I always put a little history in. Okay. All right, let's get to these hot dogs. Okay. So again, let's talk about these hot dogs. Look at this. Trader Joe's. Trader Joe's uncured hot dogs. Okay, so these hot dogs here, who makes them? Like, where are they from? There's no way, Trader Joe himself is not making these hot dogs, so they buy them from a company. I want to thank John Fox from Hot Dog Nation for doing research for me on this. It's really cool. Courage Production. Courage Production makes these hot dogs out of Fairfield, California. It's basically a San Francisco company that puts these out. Courage Production, circa 1911. They started in 1911. Other names. And they produce Schwartz's hot dogs. You guys ever heard of Schwartz's hot dogs? I don't know if you know. If you live in San Francisco, you know you've heard of Schwartz's hot dogs. They make Schwartz's hot dogs. They also make the 49ers hot dogs, which are Schwartz's hot dogs as well. And so, I don't know, they come in little pound packages like this, and they're skinless and uncured. Let's give them a shot. Be right back. Here we are. Welcome back. Trader Joe's standard beef hot dog. Look at this. It kind of sits in here. It's definitely, I would definitely say this is similar to the size of, I don't know, like the Oscar Mayer size. I mean, it's pretty small. I'm going to have to choke up on this thing, right? I'm going to have to move this thing up so that my bite, I get a good ratio. And look at this. Boom. Like would be bun size right there. Isn't it crazy that there are bun size, that's like bun size hot, they have to advertise bun size hot dogs as if that they shouldn't just make every hot dog bun size. Like they're going to make a hot dog less than bun size. It's just completely weird. Just make them all bun size hot dogs. All right. Very dark. It's actually similar in color to the Wagyu ones we did last week. Wagyu ones we did last week. Kind of dark. It's got a decent smell to it. All right. Enough talk. Eating. Let's do it. Going in. All right. Get it. Got it. It's got a good texture. I'll just say that right off the bat. It's got definitely a hot dog texture. It's not too soft. It's got a good bite, but for a skinless hot dog, it's got a decent bite. Smoky, I can definitely taste smoke. Mustard, pepper. This has got pepper like the Wagyu one I tried the other day. It doesn't have a super hot doggy flavor in terms of like, there's some other stuff in here. Ginger maybe? I don't know. It's not a super hot doggy flavor, but it's completely inoffensive and it tastes fine. It completely tastes fine. I would enjoy it on the grill. I'm sure of it. Really? Like we're super filming right now. You get more? Go ahead. Okay, that is not COVID, by the way. It's just my director coughing. No more. Okay. So it tastes. It's a good flavor. You know what it is? I'll tell you what it's missing. I get it. Garlic. Lots of garlic. You want your hot dog to be garlic packed. It's somewhat juicy, not super juicy. It's good. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Trader Joe's uncured beef hot dog, $2.5. Now, I will say this. If you go into Trader Joe's and there's your Trader Joe's beef hot dog, and every time you walk in, there's also the A&H there, I would definitely be getting the A&H over this. But it's good. It's good. In a pinch, I would definitely buy these. $2.5, right in the middle. Okay. See you next time. Me eating hot dog.